A new addition to Great Falls is wrapping up its final touches and putting on quite a show for those who got a sneak peek before their big open. Good Saturday afternoon. We appreciate you being with us. We'll get back to the soft opening of Kobe's Seafood and Steakhouse in a moment. First at 5:30, Fort Benton police are investigating a stabbing that has left one resident dead. Police say they responded to an incident in Fort Benton around 1:40 this morning, which left a 21-year-old male dead. The suspect knew the victim and police say is in custody at this time. Police requested assistance from the Montana Department of Justice Division of Criminal Investigation. We will update you with more details as soon as we get them. Gun supporters are springing into action in part of a national campaign to protect their Second Amendment rights after President Obama called for tighter gun control earlier this week. MTN's Lindsay Gordon caught up with supporters at the Capitol steps to see why they're involved in the movement.
When governments take away guns, bad things happen. There's been a number of gun-related incidents recently, and that's why we have the challenge that we have today. The liberals are making the most of it.
A large group of Montana gun right enthusiasts made their way to the Capitol today to make sure that their voices were heard.
I'm just here to support my right as a citizen of the United States to uphold the Constitution and all we stand for.
After Wednesday's announcement from President Obama, activists organized this impromptu rally.
If I'd have had a little bit more notice, I'd have brought a lot of friends with me and tried to get some of the old-timers from the VA out here even maybe.
But those that were able to show up were incredibly clear that they wanted Montana lawmakers to stand up for them.
I can only speak for myself, and I'm here to support everything that this country was founded on. And that's just it, plain and simple.
And people like Scott will not stand by while he feels his rights are being threatened.
We have the right to keep and bear arms, and without standing up for our rights, all you have to do is watch the news to see what's disappearing from the country.
From the Capitol, Lindsay Gordon, MTN News.
The rally was organized locally in conjunction with a nationwide effort called Guns Across America. Attendants were asked to leave their guns and holsters at home. After spring-like weather invaded the Treasure State, Mother Nature has some changes on the way. Let's head over to the Storm Tracker Weather Center. Claire, what can we expect?
Well, Jen, what we can expect is these temperatures to continue to drop tonight and into tomorrow. Here's a look at our current temperatures. It's 29 in Great Falls and 35 in Helena. But as we continue through the night, those temperatures are going to drop. Another thing we are looking at is possible chances of snow. Right now, we're seeing lots of clouds in the area, but coming up, I'll let you know when and where we can expect those snow showers. Back to you, Jen.
All right, thanks, Claire. The long-awaited opening of Kobe's Seafood and Steakhouse is just days away, and many are already scrambling to make reservations. MTN's Tara Grimes shows us the atmosphere and flavor is like anything other than Great Falls.
Japanese fireman, how to work?
They call them teppanyaki chefs.
Teppanyaki is just the style of cooking in front of you. The main sauces that they use are teriyaki sauce, soy sauce, salt, butter, pepper. So it's just what we call the style of cooking.
And Uch says these chefs traveled from all over the world just to come to Great Falls.
It's like we have our own little melting pot here. So it's just really nice to have that culture here. We also have locals coming in to work here as well.
City leaders were the first to get a taste of the new teppanyaki and sushi restaurant on Friday night.
You don't really feel like you're in Great Falls when you're inside here, but that's a good thing. We need new experiences in Great Falls.
I think it's a great addition to the community to have a new restaurant with a different flair, you know, something other than meat and potatoes, and it's a good thing to do with friends.
Many agree it's not just the food, however.
I was impressed by the kind of communal aspect, the fact that, you know, you could sit at the tables with other people, and there's a cook, and it's a performance, dinner, a little bit of everything, entertainment, all wrapped in one.
A restaurant a year in the making, finally officially opening its doors on Monday. In Great Falls, Tara Grimes, MTN News.
Once opening on Monday, restaurant staff say they'll be open 7 days a week. For a list of their hours, view the story on our website. Many are traveling home after attending one of the largest agricultural shows in the state. More than 10,000 people streamed in and out of the Montana Agricultural and Industrial Exhibit the last few days. The show included seminars on topics such as soil health and the Farm Bill. Although vendors had different opinions on whether this year's expo brought in more people, one longtime vendor says he thinks it did. We'll hear more from that longstanding business participating in the MAGIE coming up at 10. Just across the way, visitors of every age release their inner child at the 27th Annual Antique Toy Show and Tractor. Organizers of the event say they always plan for the show to fall on the same weekend as the MAGIE because they say more people in one spot, the better. They say they'll have close to 1,500 visitors over this weekend. And for one coordinator, he says his favorite part of this is all the reaction of the folks walking through those doors.
That's exactly the surprised look on their face. And some of the adults can't believe what's in this building that haven't been here before.
This year, the show featured a special collection from the International Harvester Collection. Larson says the one thing he hopes everyone walked away with was their favorite toy from their childhood or a shiny new tractor toy for a loved one. A change in times calls for a change in management. In this week's Outdoor Report, Winston Greeley shows us how different thinking results in logging and wildlife, and they can work hand in hand.
But what you have over there is a lot of juniper mixed in with it, and juniper is also a winter food source for mule deer.
Today, state wildlife biologists face a new challenge, having to learn forestry practices to better manage wildlife.
It definitely expands, it has expanded my knowledge of wildlife management. Basically, as a wildlife manager, I'm selecting for habitat types that are more important for wildlife. Aspen rather than lodgepole and Doug fir, bitter brush rather than Doug fir.
Fish, Wildlife and Parks is currently conducting statewide timber surveys on its properties to determine proper forestry management for wildlife.
Through that inventory, we will have an idea of where those areas are that have greatest need for some kind of management activity, whether it's timber harvest or perhaps fire in some circumstances, to provide effective wildlife habitats.
One need for these new timber management plans is Fish, Wildlife and Parks' recent addition of forested properties, like the Marshall Block Wildlife Management Area.
There's a need to manage forests to maintain some forest health. And there are a variety of things that we can do with timber management to help assure that these habitats are productive or become productive.
The department plans to use timber management to strike a healthy balance between wildlife and the landscape.
Our primary focus is wildlife habitat, hunting recreation, and being good neighbors with surrounding landowners.
In this new era of forestry management, wildlife biologists are learning selective timber harvest can be beneficial to wildlife. Winston Greeley, out among Montana's fish, wildlife, and parks.
FWP will conclude its timber surveys this year and then begin the planning process. Now, Winston's video, there's still snow on the ground, but we've seen a lot of indoor activities today, which I feel like we have to take advantage of that warm weather while we still have it.
The temperatures have been very warm, even compared to yesterday and today. We're still way above average, but the colder temperatures are coming, feeling a little more like a Montana winter. Still
sneaking up on us.
It's coming, it's coming. Here's a look at our breakdown for tonight. Around 7 o'clock, 26 degrees will be staying in those 20s until 11 o'clock. The wind chill will be a factor in some areas, making it feel a lot colder. Chance of snow heading into this evening. I'll have a complete look at your forecast coming up after the break.